Alright, AutoCraft, you can see we have plans to run over there. It's a little bit more complicated, so I didn't build it yet. Same idea, though, but a little bit more redstone involved just because of how the thing works. These ones can be programmed to do dark prismarine as well as sea lanterns, so they're not entirely fast, so I think we may end up building more of them just because they're not very quick. But yeah, some people argue, why don't you just do this yourself? Well, I guess I want to do AutoCrafting just because we have the feature now, and it just allows me to do so many different things that you could never do before, and it just adds a whole bunch of different redstone contraptions you have to come up with if you want to do it. So these contraptions were inspired by Mumbo Jumbo. I just added a fail-safe. He may have had this, I don't remember, but then I have my clock down here. I don't remember exactly how he had his. And yeah, this is the AutoCrafter. So once this crafting table gets filled, it will unpower and then shoot into the dropper here, which will shoot the item out, and we'll have a water oh, we can't have a water stream here. Since we're in the nether, yeah, I can't have the water stream. So we're going to have to adjust this to a dropper tower. As I forgot, I was doing this in the nether, just so I don't have the guardian farm loaded at the same time this is running. Heavy on the server, it's just not going to be good to have this running with the guardian farm as well. Wouldn't be a good mixture. So yeah, this one over here, this is for the regular prismarine. And then we're going to have to build another one just for the prismarine bricks, which is not going to be difficult. We're just going to have a bunch of hoppers feed it into this crafting table. And then basically have this little module right here. So this crafting table and the item sorter is all we're going to have, with just a bunch of hoppers pointing into the crafting table. And then once it gets filled, it'll just unpower, give us the next item, or the prismarine brick, and then start filling it all in again. This one is done, and so we have these two. I might double up so that we have 2 AutoCrafters for each. I'm gonna get around a shulker box an hour that way. It's still not fast, but we don't need it to be extremely fast. This is just for something that, you know, saves us doing the crafting. And yeah, so you're probably wondering why I need so much that I'm going to invest in AutoCrafters for the dark prismarine, sea lanterns. We're going to have to do another brick one. We'll probably do it right about here, as well as the regular prismarine. And that's going to be my base. So if you saw my last Let's Play, you would have seen those spires, or I guess people call them wrenches, by Vesko. I kind of designed my own in a way. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then I also do have one plan to put on top of it. So basically what I want to do is have those spires as the bottom, like coming out of the water, just like Vesko did. But on the top of that, we're going to have a platform, like a circle on top of that, with a castle on top that I've used in my previous world. Say we want this one to be dark prismarine. We're going to put shard, 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 black dye, shard, 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 shard. That will AutoCraft to dark prismarine. And if we want to do sea lanterns, we would do, I think it's shard, crystal, shard, crystal, 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 shard, crystal, shard. I think that's how it is. And maybe a little different. And then for the 2x2 prismarine block, we're going to have to do shard, shard, temporary block, which we have in there already. Checking by this redstone output here, as well as a shard and shard again. And yeah, so then basically the other one will just all be shards. So we can just pretty much design our own one to make it, that one go even faster. So that'll pretty much be double the speed. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Try to get some materials over here to start AutoCrafting and show it off. But let's go get everything else and then start work on the my actual base for this season. Alright, so actually a lot of time has passed. As you can see, we had to deconstruct the ones that were currently built in survival. So I pretty much gave up for like a day or two after building them in survival and figuring out that they don't work, and then I was trying to troubleshoot it. So I went back to the creative world, and that one also didn't work anymore. They were not shooting in the right order, so I had to design a whole new one. So you can see it looks kind of similar, just the way everything gets there has to be different. So we now use an observer chain to trigger each dropper one tick after the next, so they don't all fire at the same time. I find that to work a little bit better, but we'll see again if that breaks once again, or else I'm going to be totally lost on this. But it did work in creative, so I'm hoping it works this time now. So we did have to also redesign the Prismarine one with the same technique. And yeah, it's a little bit more, not as compact as I would like it, but yes, again, it is temporary for now. I'm not too worried about it. But it did require about 2 hours of redesigning for this one and this one. So we did design a simple one here for the bricks. So the bricks is the one I already built up because it's a simple one. As you can see, it's already working. This one, you pretty much, because it's the same thing across the whole thing, you can just feed the thing as fast as it can. Once you get single strength 15, which is the opposite of this, we get a single strength 2 here. And we get that dispensed out here, which this torch gets triggered by the observer. Or the observer gets triggered by the torch, which then sends it across and then up the dropper chain into the storage here, which then it goes down, and then it will be filled across. So that one's done. We have a bit of storage up here. So this right now, we only have 3 shulker boxes. That'll create us about 9 stacks of bricks. And this is the faster one, just because you can completely fill it. This is already running for like a minute or 2, and it's already at almost 3 stacks. So yeah. That's done. We got this one over here for the bricks prismarine, or the dark prismarine, and the sea lanterns. So now we got to finish this one up. I'm thinking about just making it their own dropper elevators for each one, so we don't need the sorters anymore. I am considering it because these things might not be able to keep up, but yet again, these ones are quite slow compared to the brick one over here. That's why we only need one of these. Really shouldn't need more because these ones are going to take even longer. These ones are about a 9th or 10th of hopper speed, so this is basically almost double hopper speed. This is like almost triple hopper speed, so these things are going to be like not even close to one another. But yeah, time to build these ones up, and then we can actually, hopefully, start working on the base. Alright, so we're ready to test the other ones. We can only start the we're not ready to start the other ones. I do have to put a thing here, but we can just let it go. And then we need to looking up to the storage real quick. That's just a simple dropper elevator, like this one is over here. But yeah, technically we're ready to start. We can only do the sea lanterns, the prismarine bricks, and the regular prismarine because I do not currently have any dark or coal over here. But let's go to this one up here first. So it's a little hard, so I didn't add any more hoppers. But this middle one right here should be our yep, that should be that. Oh, we had to do his filters here first. Alright, that looks good. I forgot I need to have movable block entities on so we can push the crafting table. But that looks good to me. And we should be getting a prismarine. Did I forget to do a circuit here? I did not put a circuit in. So I guess what I can do, nothing, okay. I technically can just do that. And just take it from there. Take that out, shove those all in there. They should make their way down, yep. Alright, so this one's working. We can now start to put the extra boxes to fill it up a little bit for this one. So this one will only require the shards. Now we do need a temporary item, but the temporary item should be refilling itself. So with this circuit down here, this takes this thing and puts it back in. We should be able to see the temporary item, yep, go up. Which then triggers those observers to push it back up. That was my main issue with this one, is trying to get the items back into here, because we had to take the signal from the back, and then we also had to take the items in the front with then the observers on top to power them, so it left us with very little area, so we had the only option we had is to go beneath. So technically we can just watch this, should be able to fill up if we put a shulker box on each one of these with shards. Shard there, shard there, shard there, shard there. These should start emptying, which they are. Hop in a spectator real quick, we can see unfortunately you can't see that working, but what should happen eventually is that we should keep up. Because this does pulse twice to input, you can see if we do put 2 items in, this flashes, this observers down here flash twice. So we get 2 items every time we dispense 1. So we should eventually start to see this bottom dropper start to fill up, and then this bottom one here as well. This one should get, you can see that's filling up. And then we shoot 2 out there, which go up through this one and up to here. And then we can then trigger this one. So yeah, we're getting close. And we are still getting prismarine output, which is good. I'm liking how this is looking. Our clock is working. So yeah, I would really want this more compact, but it's working for now, so I'm not going to touch it. So yeah. Definitely huge inspiration from Mumbo Jumbo for this area right here with the sorters. So yeah, everything else is just pretty much had to be custom just because of the way I wanted it to function. But if we go back into survival, you can see these are still emptying, and we should, if we go over to the storage, in this one, start to see, yep, there we go. We got some of those. We got our 9 stacks here. Alright, so the sea lantern one is working. As you can see, you got everything in the right order. This was the main one that was causing me issues, just because when you get the 3 crystals right here, it would then get the next crystal because of the hoppers not being spaced out. So that's why I thought I could use this observer chain right here, and it works perfectly fine. You can see we are getting sea lantern outputted, so we just got to hook up the item elevator to this hopper chain right there, and then we can start storing them. But yeah.
We go in, we win in the match, so that's how we do, cause we be the best. We be the best, best, yeah, we be the best, well, yeah, we be the best, best, we be the best, hey, yeah, we be the best, best, hey, we be the best, yo, you wanna come on a test, well, you want to see we the best, hey, you don't see that we're the best kid, so I suggest you never really come and test it, but otherwise I will smack your face like Michael Jordan does with a ball on the basket. Oh damn kid, but you didn't expect it, you never really thought that this could just happen, but now really come on and we pull out with the action, cause people defeat those they don't get it like.
Alright, so what you just saw there was about 2 hours, and that is just the outside of the exoskeleton of it. We still got to do the inside. If I turn this on and go scroll up by layer, you can see there's this prismarine, sea lantern, and prismarine brick layer inside. That's what gives it all the color and everything. But currently, I mean, I have it on me, but that did just take 2 hours just for the outside here. So currently, yeah, we're gonna get very little progress done this episode. I'm hoping to get the 4 center ones done, but yeah, so as you can see, there's 2 boxes. So this one down here is the bottom, and the top is going to be something different. So I'm pretty much combining 2 of my favorite builds. So I started with these in the last one. You can see that's kind of similar. There's just this extra top portion up here. So this is by Vesko. Definitely links down in the description, because this is where these spires, I guess you can call them, some people call them wrenches, came from. But yeah, so I like them a lot, that I'm actually doing 12 of them. 4 diagonal, 8 regular straight ones. But yeah, so that's just the bottom of the base. That's not even the functional part. So we can do some things, but not really. You can't really fit much in here. But yeah, it's not even going to be the functional part of the base. The functional base is part of the top is up here. And this goes all the way to sky limit. So you can just see how massive this is going to be, which is just completely crazy. And I am not ready for the amount of materials and time. So if we average it out, about 2 hours for the outside, so I'm guessing about 3 hours for each one of these. And that's not even on the diagonal one, which is going to be even more difficult to build. Never actually done a mega base like this before. I've only ever done some small things. So I'm very excited to what this will come. But back to work. Alright, so that time lapse. But yeah, so I got my time down from 2 hours from this first one over here to the last one I just did, which took me about 40 minutes. So it's a big improvement of time, now that I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to try my best to get it down to 30 minutes by the time I'm done these. We still do have 4 more straight ones to go, and then we have 4 diagonals to go in this episode. We're trying to get all of these guys down here finished in this episode. That'll be huge progress. Definitely be more than what I did in my first one, which would be back in my 115 Let's Play. It started out as, or it started as a 114. Did it start out as a 114? I think it was 115. But you can just see that's this 3x3 nether portal right there, and that is the size of the middle. That's the middle. So we're gonna have 4 more of these. So you can see there's a little bit of a gap right here. We're going to have one that connects between these 2 on both sides. So this creates sort of just like a beam going through the 4 of them. There's basically 4 of them there in a cross pattern basically, as well as there. And then we're going to have diagonal ones on the outside pointing in the diagonal direction. And those will be holding up the thing on top, which goes to world limit. It's a little bit getting a little cut off at the top just because of world limit. Ideally I would have built these a little bit lower, but I didn't want to start clearing out water. As of now, we definitely will extend these down to the sea level, but we're just going to get them built for now. So yeah, I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build the 4 other ones. So 4 more dark prismarine outlines, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we will fill them all in and finish the episode on that. So yeah, the scale of this thing is absolutely insane. Even just the outline is looking really cool. But yeah, let's get back to the grind. So about 12 hours in total, combining with AFKing for the AutoCrafter and getting the prismarine in. We have the full 8 central dark prismarine towers, I guess I want to call them, in place. So we still have to do the 2 diagonals, which I am probably not going to start in this episode. I think I'm just going to get the brick sea lantern and prismarine inside all filled out for all these in this episode. And I think we're going to call it there. But yeah, this is still huge progress for it. And yeah, it was about 33, almost 34,000 dark prismarine just for these 8. So the size of this thing is absolutely insane. So let's get back to work. Alright, the first side is completely filled in. And I did say I was going to just do both of these sides, but these interiors actually take longer than the outside. Just because you can see the pattern of the blocks here. And what you can't see is the sea lanterns on the side as well. So that adds even more blocks. So yeah, about 8 hours or so for these 4 to be filled in. Quite a project we have going on. This is only a third of the bottom, not including the top area that we're going to be doing. So yeah, we're going to call it here. Did have a time lapse for these, but this video is already getting quite long as recorded. So yeah, I think we're going to just call it here. As you can see, this is done. And we still have the other side to do, so we'll probably pick up there when we start coming back to here. But I think we're going to take a break from this as of right now, since, you know, building isn't the best of my thing, as much as it is redstone related things. So yeah, still quite happy how this looks out. I'm definitely liking the 4 like this. I'm going to add the diagonals soon as well, but that will come with time. And yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, all those sorts of things, and I'll see you in the next one.